So I was talking about the fungal nutrition, the different types of fungi based on nutrition. So chiefly there are two types, saprophytes and parasites. So in saprophyte, you have ectotrophic saprophytes and endotrophic saprophytes. Under parasites, you have obligate parasites, facultative parasites. Okay. So this is a uh, the next few slides, we will be talking about the structure of the fungal cell. Okay, structure of the fungal cell. So from the cell wall, so fungal cell wall is a unique structure which is found only in fungi. You cannot see this kind of cell wall, chitinous cell wall in any other group of organism excepting insects. In insects, you can see some of the insects have chitinous cell wall, like crab, nund, crabs, beetles, they have chitinous cell wall. So similar kind of cell wall composition you can see in fungi. So fungal cell wall is made of, see, so many substances. You have the chitin, you have beta glucan, you have manoproteins. Okay, so these you have, some fungi also have cellulose in their cell wall. So fungi are generally, they are divided into lower fungi and higher fungi. Lower fungi, they also have cellulose in their cell wall apart from uh, glucans. So you have glucans, you have mannans, these are all sugars. Okay, so glucans are there, mannans are there. You can find cellulose in some fungal cell wall. Okay, chiefly the higher fungi cell wall is made of chitin and glucan, beta glucan and chitin. These are the chief composition of the fungal cell wall, chitin and glucan. So chitin are, what is chitin? Chitin is a polymer of acetylated amino sugar and acetyl glucosamine. So chitins are polymer of, this is only N-acetyl glucosamine. So you have number of this particular what to say, group. This is called N-acetyl glucosamine group. So you have number of these groups together, they form chitin. Okay, C8H13O5N. This is the chitin. So number of, this is a monomer. It is called a monomer because it is of one unit. When you, many such monomers are connected, they form a polymer. So it is called chitin. Okay, so monomers of N-acetyl glucosamine is called chitin. Okay, so polymer means what? Number of monomers, 1,000 monomers joined together make a polymer. 1,000 monomers of N-acetyl glucosamine joined to make a polymer. So that is only called chitin. So you have another composition, glucan. It is called glucan. So you have, it's a polymer of glucose. It is a polymer of glucose. So these are, this is the primary cell wall. You also, some of the fungi show secondary cell wall also, which is made of chitosan. Okay, and pigments. Some of the fungal cells show pigmentation. They are colored. Some of them are colored. Generally, fungal cell is not colored. It is colorless. But some of the fungal cells are colored. They have melanin pigment, just like humans have melanin pigment. Fungi also have melanin pigments. So they are also found on the cell wall. You can find some lipids also, fats. You can find some lipids also in the cell wall. You can find proteins also on the cell wall. So this is actually the whole composition of the fungal cell wall. So you have primary cell wall as well as secondary cell wall, and this is the composition. So this is a unique feature of fungal cell wall, and this is the diagrammatic representation of the fungal cell wall. So what is the function of the fungal cell wall? It protects, as any cell, plant cell, fungal cell wall also protects against osmotic lysis. It maintains the osmotic pressure within the cell. It acts as a molecular sieve. It doesn't allow any compound to just get inside or go out. So it acts as a sieve, salad. It acts as a molecular sieve, and it contains pigments for protection. I told you some of the fungi have melanin pigment. This melanin pigment protects the cell, inner contents of the cell from getting oxidized. Just like melanin pigment in human beings protects us from the harmful effect of UV rays, similarly in fungi also, melanin pigment protects the cellular components. And then the fungal cell wall is binding site for the enzymes. So many enzymes are important for metabolism of fungi. So the cell wall is an important binding site for enzymes. So inner to the cell wall, you have the cytoplasm, just like any other living organism. The cytoplasm has organelles. All the organelles are present in the cytoplasm. Eukaryotic cell will contain mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus surrounded by a nuclear membrane, vacuole. All these are present inside the fungal cytoplasm also. And cytoplasm in the fungal cell is colorless. Okay, and you can see vacuole, vetridum solvom, vacuole in the cytoplasm. And you have some inclusions, cytoplasmic inclusions. You see some dead non-functional bodies are there. They are made of proteins or glycogen. Some unimportant fungal bodies, udalangal solluvom. So some unimportant fungal bodies are there. They are called cytoplasmic inclusions. Otherwise, it contains all the cellular organelles, and you have a particular organelle which is called lomazome. It is found in fungi. Lomazome are present between the plasma membrane and the cell wall. So this is what is seen in the fungal cytoplasm. So you have just a diagrammatic representation of the fungal cell. So you can see the cell wall and the cell membrane, and you can see all the cellular organelles, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, okay, nucleus, mitochondria, okay, and then vacuole is there seen, okay, and then the fungal hypha. This is called the hypha, and this is called the growing tip. The fungi grows only at the tips. Only at the tips of the hypha, fungal growth is seen. They don't grow like us. Okay, they don't show growth like us or plants. Only at the tips, the fungal hypha will show growth. So you can measure their growth by measuring the length of the tip. Okay, so this is the mitochondria. You have all studied about the organelles, cellular organelles. So fungal mitochondria it is similar to any eukaryotic cell mitochondria. Okay. So they have the inner membrane, which is called the cristae, and the outer membrane, mitochondrial membrane. And you have all the enzymes responsible for respiration. You can see it in the mitochondria. Adhe madri, you have endoplasmic reticulum, okay, which is a network of the cell membrane, plasma membrane, and you can see ribosomes over the endoplasmic reticulum. They take part in protein synthesis. And Golgi apparatus is also seen in fungi. Okay, so except in oomycetes, you can see Golgi apparatus. Okay, and in oomycetes is an example of a lower fungi. So in this Golgi apparatus, it is not in oomycetes, the Golgi apparatus is not very much pronounced. Okay, it is only found as folded membranes. It is only found as folded just like chloroplast எப்படி stacks of membranes இருக்கும், grana எப்படி இருக்குமோ அதே மாதிரி you can see Golgi apparatus in the fungus. Okay, so this main function of Golgi apparatus is to in protein synthesis, packaging of proteins. And then you can see vacuoles inside the fungal cells. Okay, this is very important for the function of fungal growth of fungus. So vacuoles, you have spherical or tubular vacuoles. Either they are spherical in shape or they are tubular in shape. குழாய் போன்ற வடிவமோ இல்ல ஸ்பெரிக்கல்னா உருளை வடிவமோ you can see. So what is the function of the vacuoles? They chiefly store enzymes. That is the most important. See, enzymes are very important for fungi because they have an absorptive mode of nutrition. Without enzymes, fungi cannot obtain nutrition. So these enzymes are stored only in the vacuoles. Okay, so they store enzymes. Apart from enzymes, they store lipids, they store mineral nutrients. They can also store some toxins. Some harmful fungi store toxins in the vacuole. Okay, and they help in the balancing of the pH also. Okay, so and they are they actually, vacuoles are very important to maintain the structure of the cell, fungal cell. And this is the, actually you can see, I will come back to the septum later. So when you talk about the structure of fungus, you can divide it into simplest fungus, okay, unicellular fungus and multicellular fungus. You talk about the structure, you can differentiate into simple unicellular cell, thallus, and multicellular thallus. So in this case, you have another category of fungus which has no cell wall. Okay, this is Plasmodium. It is called Plasmodium. This is a kind of fungal cell without cell wall. Okay, so this is a category of fungus, a class of fungus without cell wall. So the thallus here is called Plasmodium. Fungal thallus is called Plasmodium. It is a naked multinucleate mass of protoplasm which shows amoeboid movements. Just like amoeba, it is pleomorphic. It can change its structure to any shape. So similarly, a typical a type of class of fungus, they come under Plasmodium. They have a what to say, naked protoplasm without the cell wall covering. So it is called Plasmodium. So this example is there, Plasmodiophora brassicae. Okay, it is a parasite in cabbage. It causes, okay, it causes rot, club rot in cabbage, in cauliflower. Okay, cauliflower, cabbage, all these vegetables get infected with a particular fungus which actually is a wall-less fungus. They are called wall-less fungus. They don't have a cell wall, so they can take any shape. The thallus is pleomorphic. Pleona, many, morphic na shapes. So thallus is pleomorphic. Okay, so this is one kind of thallus, fungal thallus. Otherwise, you can see the fungal thallus is normally unicellular or multicellular. Multicellular, you can call it as hyphae. Okay, the fungal cell is actually a tubular shape, like tubes. Okay, it's a single cell, but it is in the shape of a tube. Hypha is also a single cell, but it is in the shape of a tube. Okay, one continuous cell filled with cytoplasm and nuclei, and they are multinucleate. They are multinucleate. Many nuclei are there because it's a single tube. They are multinucleate. Again, you can see these hyphae can be called, can be referred to as stolon. They can be referred to as rhizoids. In a group of fungi, okay, they are the horizontal hyphae, okay, horizontal hyphae which bear the aerial hyphae. You can see horizontal hyphae and aerial hyphae. Hyphae which grow on the ground level, hyphae which grow above the ground level. Erect hyphae and horizontal hyphae. So horizontal hyphae are called stolon. Okay, And beneath the stolon, you have root-like structures coming out. In some fungi, you can see some root-like structures. They are called rhizoids. They come out of the same hypha. They come out of the same hypha. So horizontal hypha, on the under surface, you can see root-like projections. On the upper surface, you can see what is called aerial hyphae. They carry the reproductive structure. So some hyphae are very simple tube-like structure. Some hyphae can show varied structure like rhizoids and aerial hyphae. You can see this in a group of fungi called mucor. Okay, so you can identify the fungus with the structure. So hypha, you can hypha can take a place of stolon. Stolon means horizontal hyphae. Okay, and they can take the shape of what is called rhizoids, which are root-like parts of the hyphae. So hyphae are generally tubular tubular structure of the fungal cell. So many hyphae, you can, when the hyphae are joined together, in this case you can see many hyphae joined together, they form a network which is called a mycelium. Okay, which is called a mycelium. Yeah, you can see from a single spore, the hyphae come out. Okay, and when the hyphae join together, when they grow as a whole, they form a network of hyphae, a collection of hyphae, which is called a mycelium. Okay, this is only called a mycelium. So when you talk about hyphal structures, you can see different shapes in hypha. Normally, I told you hyphae are tubular structures. They are in the kind and the shape of tubes. Some fungi, you can see some different types of structures. Okay, nodular organs, not முடிச்சு மாதிரி இருக்கும், knot மாதிரி இருக்கும், nodular organs, racket hyphae, just like badminton racket. You can see some hyphal structures like racket shape. So they are called racket hyphae. You can see some fungal hyphae like chandelier. Chandelier you can see in lightings, no, different lightings in hotels and posh rooms. You can see the different lighting substance things. They are called chandeliers. So it's some fungal hyphae resemble chandeliers, so they are called fabric chandeliers. And then some fungal hyphae possess spiral endings, though they show some spiral structure. So they are called spiral hyphae. So hyphae need not be a straight structure always. It can take up some other shapes also depending on the type of the fungus. Okay, so that is the hypha. You can see modifications of hyphae. In normally the fungal hypha can be with cross walls. With cross wall means this is the septum. That is the fungal hyphae is divided into segments. Okay, குறுக்கு சுவர்னு சொல்லுவோம். They are called septa. Okay, they are called septum. So these cross walls divide the fungal hyphae, and so each segment will have one nucleus. It will be having one nucleus. So that is why it is called multicellular uninucleated hypha. So when there is no cross wall, it is called cenocytic hypha. That is multinucleated aseptate hypha without the septa. So the whole hypha is multinucleated structure. So there is a terminology which is called cenocytic hypha. Cenocytic hypha means a fungal hypha without septum, which shows multinucleated condition. Okay, so some of the hypha have septum, some of the hypha do not have septum. So see, you can see the different types of septa are there. Cross walls, but some of the cross walls are totally closed. Okay, complete cross wall you can see. Some of the cross walls have a small opening, simple pore. It's a simple எளிய துளைன்னு சொல்லுவோம். Simple pore in the middle. Some of the hyphae have a slightly complicated structure. in the form of, they are called dolipore, dumbbell shaped structure, which will form a dumbbell shaped pore. Okay, it's called dolipore septum. Some hypha, you can see septa having many pores, multi-pores, micropores or multisporic hypha. So in some hypha, some septa, there is no pore, no hole in the middle, no pores, simple septum. In some hypha, there is one single pore. Okay, ஒரே ஒரு துளை தான் இருக்கும். In some hypha, the pore, the outline or the boundary of the pore is dumbbell shaped. Okay, it's called dolipore. It's called dolipore. In some septum, you can see many pores. That's called micropores. They are called micropores. So they are referred to as a microporic septa. Okay, so these are the different types of septa which is seen in septate hypha. Okay, so this is modifications of hyphae. You call it modification of hyphae. So simplest fungus. Yeah, what is the function of the hypha? Normally the function of the hypha, nutrient absorption. Through the hypha only the nutrients get absorbed inside the fungus. Okay, from the soil, from a host, it can absorb the nutrient from the host parasite. If it is living inside a living organism, it has to absorb the nutrition from the living cell. So that way the hypha only is playing a major role. Okay, so another way, it can absorb nutrient from the soil. So some fungal species, they live in the soil, they absorb the nutrients from the soil. Okay, and the fungal hypha helps in nutrient transportation also. So in from one cell to another cell, or the hypha helps in transportation of nutrients. Okay, that is the chief function of the hypha. So you have seen what is a hypha. Now what do you mean by mycelium? Mycelium is mass of branched intertwined hyphae forming a network. So branched network hyphae. So you have vegetative horizontal mycelium, aerial mycelium. Just like what I told you, horizontal hypha is called a stolon, aerial hypha you can see. So similarly, mycelium also, horizontal vegetative mycelium and aerial mycelium. You can see mycelium is septate, aseptate or non-septate mycelium. Okay. So this is the simplest fungus, unicellular budding yeast. Okay, this is how they look like when you see it on the growth medium. They are unicellular structures. Okay, they have just one cell. Okay, and they are referred to as yeasts. They are referred to as yeasts. You would have studied about the yeast structure. Some of the fungi are called yeast-like fungi. They are called yeast-like fungi. These are fungi which occur in the form of, they look like yeast. They don't have hypha. Yeast are unicellular fungi. They have just one cell, single cell. Okay, rounded, single cell, unicellular. They don't show any hyphal kind of structure. Filamentous structure kadayadu. They are unicellular. Some fungi which are called yeast-like, they can show somewhere in their life cycle, they show a mycelial-like growth. Okay, they are not true mycelium. They are pseudo mycelium. Pseudo nale false. They appear to be mycelial like structure. They look like a mycelium, but they are not a mycelium. They are actually unicellular, but they are elongated. Okay, unicellular. So they look like a mycelium. Actually, they are like this unicellular yeast cells, but due to some kind of temperature change or pH change, what happens is they take the shape of a filamentous structure. So when many unicellular cells, they gather together one after the other, when they come lengthwise one after the other, they look like a mycelium. So they are called pseudo mycelium. Okay. So the example, no, Candida albicans is a yeast-like fungi. You don't refer to as yeast. For yeast, best example is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Yeast-like fungi, you have one example is Candida albicans, because they show what is called a pseudo mycelium, a false mycelium. The other category is filamentous fungi, what we normally see in spoiled coconut, or you can see a growth of fungi in pickles or idli. எந்த மாதிரியான ஃபுட்லயும் you can see the fungal growth. Okay, so that is a filamentous fungi, multicellular filamentous fungi. So they only show hypha, septate hypha or aseptate hypha. Okay, so they will look like this on the growth medium. They look like this on the growth medium. So they are mainly composed of hypha, mycelium. Okay, and the surface you can see, they'll be very powdery. It will be like a powder or cotton, just like cotton fragments, you can see the surface. So the colony morphology, so this is the colony morphology of filamentous fungi. Some fungi are referred to as dimorphic fungi. Di nale two, morphic nale shape. Okay, so some fungi exist in two different shapes. The same fungus, it shows two different morphologies at particular conditions. So they are fungi which can show a yeast form, okay, or it can also be in the mycelial form. So when the temperature is at 37 degrees, it will show yeast form, unicellular yeast form. This is the yeast form, unicellular cells like structure. When the temperature is lesser than 37, when 25 degrees, it will have a mycelial form. Such forms are called dimorphic fungi. Most of the fungi which cause diseases in humans and animals, they are called dimorphic fungi, because they exist in different forms inside the cell as well as in outside the cell. So inside the, you can see filamentous mold. Okay, outside the human cell, it will take the shape of a filament. Okay, thin septate hyphae you can see outside the human cell. Inside the human cell, it is 37 degrees, so it will take up a yeast form. So depending on the temperature, the fungal cells can take the form of yeast or of a mycelial form. So the such fungi are called dimorphic fungi. So you can see simple unicellular fungi, you can have multicellular filamentous fungi which form hyphae, septate, aseptate hyphae. You have seen what is a mycelium, okay, and you have seen what is a dimorphic fungi. Okay, so these are some hyphal modifications in fungi. So இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம பார்த்ததுல வந்து fungi, you can see unicellular fungi, filamentous fungi. Okay, under filamentous fungi you have septate hypha, aseptate hypha. You have seen dimorphic fungi. So fungi come in different shapes and different forms. So you have different modifications on the hypha, hyphal modifications. They are different modifications of the hypha. So some fungi show tissue-like modifications. They resemble parenchyma tissue. So fungi you cannot find, because it is a lower uh, living kingdom. Okay, it is not, you cannot compare a fungi with animal, okay, or plant. So plant cells have definite tissue system. You have the simple tissue, permanent tissue and complex tissue. Okay, parenchyma, collenchyma, all these we have studied. Similarly, animals also have tissue systems. When different types of cells come together, they form tissue. Okay, so you have skeletal tissue, you have connective tissue, you have vascular tissue. So such things it is not found in fungi. But sometimes, due to some environmental conditions, the fungal hyphae will take the shape of tissue like appearance. So it is called pseudo, okay, it is called pseudo parenchyma. It is called pseudo parenchyma. So the false tissue is formed due to aggregation of hyphae. Sometimes no fungal hyphae, they all come together, they aggregate into a tight structure. Okay, it looks as though it is a tissue. Okay, so such a false tissue is called plectenchyma. It is called plectenchyma, a false tissue formed by aggregation of hyphae. Coming together of the hyphae is called plectenchyma. All fungal tissues come under this general term. So normally fungi do not form tissues. You don't have fungal tissues. But during their life cycle, during their reproductive life cycle, some phase of their life cycle, you can see this kind of plectenchyma formation. So plectenchyma is divided into two types, prosenchyma and pseudoparenchyma. Prosenchyma, when the hyphae are loosely connected. When the hyphae are loosely connected, loosely woven tissue of the hyphae. Hyphae do not lose their identity. Abdina, the hyphae remain as hyphae. You can see the walls of the hyphae. They don't lose their identity. They only come together. They only come very close together. You can see a bunch of hyphae. They are together. They don't lose their walls. They don't fuse. There is no fusion scene. Okay, இணைந்த செல் சுவர்கள் கிடையாது. So செல் சுவர்கள் வந்து தனித்தனியா தான் இருக்கும். Hyphae will be they'll be coming together of the hyphae. So that is what is meant by they do not lose their identity. Okay, they are parallel to each other. They are composed of elongated hyphae. So such a morphology is called, such a kind of tissue is called prosenchyma. Such a kind of tissue is called prosenchyma. In another form, what happens is the cell walls fuse, the fungal hyphae, they totally fuse together. Okay, they come so tight, they totally fuse together, they lose their identity, and they will look like parenchyma cells. When you take a cross section, they will look like parenchyma cells. Okay, so they are called pseudo parenchyma. Pseudo nale false. Okay, they look like parenchymatous cell. So in such cases, they are called pseudo parenchyma. The only difference between prosenchyma and pseudo parenchyma is that in prosenchyma, the hyphae do not lose their identity, do not fuse together. Okay, but in pseudo parenchyma, the hyphae totally lose their identity. They fuse completely. Okay, so the walls of the hyphae get fused and they lose their individuality. So it looks like a parenchyma tissue. So this is a very important hyphal modifications seen in fungi. Just like you see root modification, taproot, fibrous root. Okay, and the Madri, you have different root modifications in plants. Similarly, in fungi also you have hyphal modifications to form false tissue called plectenchyma. So this is what is given here. During certain stages in the life, mycelium gets organized into a loosely or tightly woven tissue-like structure called plectenchyma. So in prosenchyma, hyphae are loosely interwoven. They lie more or less parallel to each other. Okay, and they are longitudinally oriented. Cells are clearly distinguished. You can distinguish the cell. Okay, they don't lose their identity. Whereas in pseudoparenchyma, hyphae are closely packed and they are interwoven. They completely lose their identity. Okay, so they appear like parenchyma cells. That is why they are called pseudoparenchyma. So you can see in stroma. Stroma is a cushion-like substance produced by some fungi during reproduction. Okay, so stroma. In this case, you can see the plectenchyma. Similarly, in sclerotium, you can see another fungal body. In this case, you can see pseudoparenchyma-like structure. So these are reproductive structures, which I'll be dealing in detail later. So you can see this plectenchyma in the reproductive structures. Okay. So hyphal modifications, other modifications of hypha are rhizomorphs, rhizonale, root. Rhizonale, root. Morph means shape. So some fungal hyphae look like roots. They look like plant roots. That's why they are called rhizomorphs. Okay. Some fungal hyphae, they take the shape of what is called aprazoria. Aprazoria. And some of the hyphal modifications are called haustoria. Okay, these are different fungal hyphal modification. We saw what is a hyphae, what is the structure of the hyphae. Okay, you have septate hyphae, aseptate hyphae. Okay, and then we have come to different types of modifications which are seen in hyphae. This you can't see in all the fungus. Okay, at all stages of the life cycle you cannot see. In some fungi you can see these different forms of hyphal mod. Okay, so some of the fungi show what are called rhizomorphs. Rhizomorphs are root-like structures. Okay, see here. Some of the fungi act as traps. You can see root knot fungi. They are called root knot fungi. I showed you a slide where knotted hypha. I showed you a slide. Similarly, this is nematode trapping fungi. These are called hyphal trap. Now, these are sticky. The hyphae are very sticky. They excrete a gum-like substance, a glue-like substance. Okay, கோந்து போன்ற ஒரு திரவத்தை வந்து secrete பண்ணும். And this will trap the worms, nematodes. No, this will trap the worms. Okay, so girls, you please rejoin.